Hi, I'm Kim Owens, a candidate for the Arizona Corporation Commission. I really appreciate the opportunity to be with you here today, even if it is by video. I think we're all just doing the best we can to keep ourselves and each other safe while listening to the advice of President Trump and Governor Ducey. A little bit about me before I talk about why I'm running. I'm an Arizona native. I've lived here my whole life. My husband Dean and I have been married for 41 years. He's a retired Phoenix police officer of 27 years service, and my first job was a registered nurse. I was a nurse for 20 years, the majority of that time in the emergency room, and I spent the last few years as a school nurse. I had the pleasure of being the nurse at the school that my children attended. That was pretty fun. After that, I worked as a realtor, and now the last few years I've been a consultant for a public relations firm. But my public service started years ago as well. I was elected to the school board in our community for 5 terms. That's 20 years. I was known as a problem solver and a listener, and I looked for solutions, not just talked about problems. In addition to that, I've also been the ratepayer advocate in my district for the last 10 years to the Salt River Project. That's an office that's elected, the Salt River Project Council. There are 3 members from every district, and I'm one from mine. That means my voters have 3 times sent me to the Salt River Project to look out for their best interest in keeping the company solvent and making sure that their water and power was affordable, reliable, and safe. So why am I running? In 2018, hedge fund billionaire Tom Steyer put $20 million into Arizona to change our energy policy. He tried to buy a change in our Constitution and change our economy while he was doing it. The Arizona voters said, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to fall for that. But there's still an effort to put it in place. And the way they'll do that is through the Arizona Corporation Commission. That's where energy policy is made in Arizona. And they can make the changes one by one if they try. But we need people at the commission who understand the threat that those kind of changes can bring and know good energy policy when they see it. I spent 10 years doing that, and I plan to continue to do that as a commissioner. It's important that decisions we make about energy policy are based on sound science that represent opportunities for expansion of science and don't mandate ideas that may be good for today but may not be good for tomorrow. I'm not a fan of saying that we have to have a certain percentage of power come from solar or natural gas or wind. We need to use all of the options that are available in our energy mix so that the consumer has choice and that things are reliable and safe while being affordable. We need to be good stewards of our air and water, and I appreciate that. As I said, I'm an Arizona native. I've seen what happens when we have the forest fires that damage our communities and risk life and property. We need to make sure that we put things in place that eliminate those kind of threats. But at the same time, people have to be able to afford to pay their electric bill. I believe that the Arizona Constitution is very clear when it says what commissioners are supposed to do. The rates are to be just and reasonable. If rates are not reasonable to the consumer, but only to the utility, that's certainly not just. So that's why I'm running. It's time for the Arizona Corporation Commission to return to the constitutional mandate of just and reasonable, and it's time for commissioners to look out for the needs of all of Arizona, rural and urban. There are some things on the horizon that won't be good for the rural parts of Arizona. They might be great in the big cities, but they're going to be very harmful in other places in our state. And we need to be able to look at all aspects of decisions that are before us. When I was a nurse, I had to be able to look at a situation and assess the patient and decide what was good for now and later. What were the possible repercussions? What were the unwanted side effects of a treatment? And be prepared for that. That's the kind of decision-making skill I'll take with me to the commission. Decisions can't just be good for right now. They have to be good for today and tomorrow. My name is Kim Owens. I'm running for the Arizona Corporation Commission. I ask for your signature on my website. You can go to electkimowens.com, click the button that says Sign Kim's Petition, and I appreciate it if you would. Thank you so much. You can contact me through my website and I'll answer any questions you have. Thank you so much.